Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday, starting a new week, and we're cleansing and clearing. We're going to start the energy off right today. We'll be doing a little discussion on crystal energy today, and talk about a couple of crystals that I brought out. One is from the 101 Power Crystal book, and another one is from something that I've recently experienced. So we'll talk about those crystals in a moment. And at the end, I also have a couple of messages from cards. We'll be doing a group card pull here for the group, and one is for the surrender cards, and one is from Namaste cards. So a couple of messages for us today. And I've got sage ash everywhere. So I don't know. I'm making a mess. But cleansing and clearing. How is everybody doing today? How is everybody today? Happy Monday. Let's get the week started off great in a positive attitude. And just go from there. Hi, Lenny. Nice to see you. I was thinking about you the other day, wondering how you've been. Can you hear me okay? First off, let me know if you can hear me, because I'm always switching my stuff around. Hi, Kelsey. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Rosie. Nice to see everybody. Hi, Dawn. Come on in, everyone. Welcome. Good. Thank you, Lenny. All right. Hey, Judy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Renee. Oh, good, Lenny. Good. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, it's morning for us here. I don't know about everybody who will join us, because we do reach around the world. Thanks, Renee. Please share this with others. I appreciate that. Hi, Shanae. How do you say your name? Shanae? I'm sorry. I'm terrible at names. Beautiful looking name, though. Good morning, Rachel. Hi, Hardy Bell. Nice to see you. Welcome. So we're starting off with some sage, cleansing and clearing, getting ourselves set up for the week ahead. Positive energy going out there. Hi, Jill. Welcome, welcome. Today we're talking a little bit about, hi, Linda. Hi, Angie. Hi, Tanya. Cheyenne, thank you. Okay, good. Thank you. Sorry, I messed it up. It looks beautiful. It's good. It's a beautiful name. Oh, my gosh. Yes. There's a few others here that are regulars that I have struggled with in the past, too. So I will work on that. Thank you, Cheyenne. All right, so today I'm talking about those of you who are new to the show. I'm a crystal nut. I love crystals, work with crystals all the time. They have aided in my self-healing and self-awareness and self-enrichment in numerous ways. And it's just been an incredible journey. So I do these talk shows like once a week. Sometimes we talk mostly about crystals, other times more spiritual topics, sometimes other things like spirit, animals, guides, that sort of thing. But today is more focused on crystals. And so thanks for joining us. Those of you who are new to the show, let us know where you're from. I say a lot of regular faces here today, so that's great. So today's topic is something that I was talking to somebody about yesterday, and it kind of sparked something in me that I thought, well, maybe we need to bring this up, is recognizing crystal energy and feeling crystal energy. And then after that, I'm going to talk about two specific crystals today, and I'll show them to you, talk about their what they can contribute physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We'll get a little bit deeper into these two specific crystals. And then at the very end, I'm going to pull a card from Namaste and from the Surrender deck for group messages, one card from each for the whole group, for a message for today, what we need to take away for the day, what we need to work on, think about, whatever it is. A lot of times these cards surprise us, and they are very, very close to the topic at hand, although being kind of focused mainly on crystals today. We'll see what they have to say. Who knows? You never know. And we always have an awesome discussion amongst each other. So please feel free to comment and share as we move along. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Netherlands, that's awesome. Welcome, Elizabeth. Kim, love and light. Thank you. Jill from Missouri. Great. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. All right. This is terrific. Great group today. So, a lot of times when you are new to the crystal world, well, when I first started working with crystals, I did not feel the energy right away. It took me a while to get to notice or get to feel or get myself aligned and in tune with crystal energy. I think the more that you work with crystals, the more that you will start to feel their energy. The more that you hold them, or the more that you place them around your space, or the more that you carry them, you will start to feel their energy. The more you meditate with them. I am big on meditation. Those of you who don't know, it is my passion to share with the world that meditation can really tremendously help you. And the more that you meditate with crystals, the more you will feel the energy. So when I first started out, I did not feel crystal energy, but now the more I've worked with them, I can feel their energy right away. And it's truly an amazing feeling to feel their energy and to feel the energy surrounding your aura and your body. So when you first start off with crystals, I know there are some people that I've run into that feel their energy right away, and they just don't know why. That just is the way that they are. They're just more in tune energetically, feeling that kind of thing. Maybe they're more in tune with crystal energy. Maybe they're more in tune with energy in general. I'm not sure. But, oh goodness, somebody is calling me. How do I turn that off right now? That's crazy. Okay, are we still here? I hope we're still here. Why does that always happen when you're on live? Somebody calls you. It's like, hey, come on now. All right, no. So some people do feel the energy right away from just their very first touch with crystals, and other people, more people I have found, are not. It is something that you get your own energy feels. Kind of needs to learn to recognize the energy fields from the crystals. It doesn't mean that the crystals aren't helping you if you don't feel them. I believe that the crystal energy will still help you if you feel it or not, regardless. So what does it mean if you do not see or feel results from crystals? What does it mean? Thank you, Angela. Good. Still here. Good. Okay, good. I still believe if you feel it or not, you are still receiving the crystal energy that you surround yourself with. And it can help you with physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual issues. Or it can bring into whatever it is that you are lacking most at that time. Whatever you need focus on, it can bring to you, I believe. Also, another question that came up is, what does it mean if you've been working with a crystal and you've felt its energy very powerfully for a good amount of time, and then all of a sudden you don't feel the energy anymore? What do you think about that? There's a few things that I wanted to bring up with answers to these things, and one is possibly you need to cleanse and clear the crystals. We need to cleanse and clear them, recharge them, re-energize their batteries, so to speak. Sometimes if we use them a lot. Hi, Lisa, Mary, welcome everybody. If you forget to cleanse them, sometimes they can get a little bit bogged down. There are some crystals that absorb negative energy. And if you don't cleanse them, then they're just going to hold all that for a period of time. So cleanse and clear your crystals. If you use them a lot, cleanse them a lot. Cleanse them often. This has happened to you, Mary? I know I was talking to somebody else yesterday about when you feel like your crystal is no longer working for you. So that's one possibility. You might need to cleanse and clear it. Some ways to do that: put it under the moonlight. Let it get recharged under the moonlight. Put it under, bury it in the dirt if you need to. Run it under water if it's safe to do so. Some crystals will fall apart in water, so be mindful of that. Sage cleanse crystals. Light your sage bundle, and I'll just show you real quickly. Just light your sage. Let the smoke of the sage cleanse the area and the crystal that you're working with. Just the smoke. Just have it in contact with the crystal. Sound. singing bowls, tuning forks, a piano, drums, any kind of sound can recharge crystals. It will reset its energies to where it needs to be to help you again, once again. Let's see what we've got here. For some comments, then I'll move on to the next things of when you notice things that are not happening for you when you're using your crystals. So let's see here. Thank you, Mara, for being here today. Yes, thank you all so much. Elizabeth, when your crystal falls and cracks, does it still work? Yes, there's still crystal energy. There's still energy. Crystal, the whole crystal is energy, all of it. There's crystal that's energy surrounds the whole thing, and it emits energy from the whole thing. If it cracks, it might have been a stress fracture from the beginning. It might have been heat or cold fracture. It might have just been a fracture from the mining process. If it cracks and breaks off, some people like to gift that to somebody else, or maybe it's an indication of maybe you don't really need that much or that particular crystal to work with right now. You can just put it away, cleanse and clear it, and put it away for a while and maybe bring it out later. So if you find cracks in your crystals, a lot of times in quartz you'll see inclusions. Those are internal cracks, those are internal fractures, those are internal things that happened when they grew and when they formed. And it's quite, you can see these cracks and things in many of them. So it's just part of how they form and the components and the atmosphere around them. But yes, they all still have energy. They still have energy. You can still use them. You can still work with them. So great question. Yes, singing bowls retune them. Yes, they do, Angela. Yes, singing bowls, tingshas, bells. You can use many forms of sound to re-cleanse and clear your crystal energy, so it's fresh and clear and ready to go again. So, diffusing sage, essential oils. Yes, essential oils absolutely are an excellent way to cleanse and clear. You can use the ones that like frankincense or peppermint or something that are cleansing, the cleansing kinds of oils. Yes, I love essential oils. Good morning, Lucia. Welcome, welcome. So another one is maybe if you're using a crystal and you've used it so much and you don't feel its energy any longer, maybe you need to set it aside. Maybe you're trying to clear your throat chakra, for instance, and you've been using an angel light and it's been working great, and then all of a sudden it stops working and you've cleansed it and cleared it. Maybe that's not the problem. All right, and you still have work to do there. Maybe you need to try a different crystal for the throat chakra area. Maybe that particular crystal has done what it can for you for that area, but you need to bring something else in for that particular area. It doesn't mean that it won't work for you again in the future, and I still believe that you will still gain the healing properties from it, but maybe you don't see the results. Maybe it's not as apparent. Maybe it's not as strong. Maybe it's not as quickly. Maybe you don't see the energy or the reaction as quickly as you did before. So maybe you need to switch it up a little bit. Try a different crystal that aligns with that kind of thing that you're looking for healing for, and see if something else in that kind of area helps. Does the size of crystal matter? Yes, it does, Kathy. It does matter. The bigger the size, the bigger the energy field that it emits. Although you can get a lot of energy from just a small little tumble. You can get a lot of energy, and you can feel the energy from a small crystal. So if you really want a lot of energy, use a bigger crystal. If you're putting crystals in your home for certain areas, for certain things, if you want a lot of peaceful energy in your home, you're going to want bigger pieces, yes, to fill a room. But you can still benefit from those smaller pieces as well. I use, in meditation, I quite often use tumbled stones. So it's fine to use tumbled stones. Carry them with you. We have several friends that wear them in their bra. Carry them in their pocket, carry them in their purse or whatever. So size does matter. The bigger the more energy it will emit, but the small ones work great too. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for and where. So that kind of thing. Great question again too. All right, so let's see here. Good morning, Sharon, Kunjan, welcome everybody. So if one is you're feeling that it's not helping you any longer, maybe try another one that's similar and see if that helps. Another, excuse me, sorry. Thinking of the throat chakra. I talk about that a lot because that has been my weakest area in my whole life. I've cleared and cleansed it, and it is probably 90-some% healed, but I still have issues once in a while. So healing is an ongoing process, I believe. I believe you can heal any part of your body that you need to if you focus on it with natural healing remedies. Of course, if you need to seek medical advice, please do so. But I believe that you can heal so much yourself. It's truly amazing. All right. Angela, how do you know if you have a fake crystal? There's a lot of YouTube videos that are pretty well versed on checking for fakes. There's hot needle tests you can do. There's light sources you can bring in. That's a whole big topic on itself. I don't want to get too deep into it. But YouTube, if you have one that you think might be fake, search on YouTube and, goodness, somebody else is calling again. Let's see here. Okay. Check on YouTube and look at the various methods to check for fakes. Okay. That might be a good topic for, maybe I'll do like a demonstration someday. And that would be a good demo video. But if you have a specific one that you are thinking that you might have a fake right now, maybe we can talk about it more in depth in a conversation, or check some videos. And Hibiscus Moon has a lot of good resources on that too. She's done a lot of study on fakes. She's done a lot of blogs and a lot of videos on fakes. So yeah, that's a pretty big question for today's chat. Kathy, you have many crystals in your home. How does all that energy affect you? It depends on the crystals. It depends on the crystals that you have there. If you want, if you have a mixture of crystals, you're going to want to have them in different specified places. And I'll do another video on this too. I've touched on this topic as well. If you want a peaceful energy in your house, you want peaceful crystals in certain areas. If you want energy in your house, you want energetic crystals in your house. If you mix too many crystals, you might get kind of muddled energy. So be very mindful of where you place certain crystals. So if you want peaceful energy, put like amethyst. If you want energetic crystals, put carnelian. So in my office, I have crystals that help me focus and think clearly. In my front, entrance, I have things that are very protective and very peaceful and that kind of thing. So be very, very mindful of what, excuse me, of where you place what crystals. Okay. So one thing that, if you notice a crystal no longer working, I'll get back to more questions in a moment. One thing, if you notice a crystal no longer working and you've felt its energy and it doesn't seem to be working anymore, and it's just, you wonder why, well, maybe you have kind of graduated up. I've seen this, and this was a topic and a conversation with somebody yesterday, and I've seen this happen. Maybe you have received all the benefits from that specific crystal. You need to go to something a little stronger. Maybe because crystal energies are very, very subtle to very strong, depending upon the crystal. And maybe you need to go to something stronger. Maybe you have outgrown that crystal's energy and you need to go to a higher level, so to speak. So it's very interesting. This one particular person was working with very high vibration crystals, and I could tell immediately the way that she has expanded her spiritual growth and knowledge, that the crystals that she was working, she needs to go to a more deeper crystals, higher vibration crystals that can take her even deeper to where she needs to go. So that might be something to think about too. So if you've kind of graduated, maybe you've graduated, you need to move up in the crystal world, the crystal energy world. We all react differently to crystal energy. We all, because we're all different and unique, right? We all feel it differently. What I feel, you won't feel. What helps me might not work for you. What helps the masses, the majority. There's so many books on crystal energy, and they all have their specific outlines, guidelines, and lists of properties, and they might help so many people with these suggested, properties. And I believe they're tried and trusted and true. But you might try a crystal and it might do something completely different for you than's been ever mentioned in any of the books that you or publications that you come across. So, and another thing to think about too is use your intuition of what crystals to work with. Use your intuition of what crystals you're guided to work with, because most oftentimes the crystals that you come in contact with will tell you, you need to work with me right now. You need to carry me right now. You need to meditate with me right now. Use your intuition. If you go into a crystal shop and you see them all lined up and you're not sure where to start, use your intuition. Just kind of get a feel. And if something just really stands out at you, read the description of what it helps you with. All right, well, maybe that resonates with you, maybe it doesn't. But that crystal really, really is standing out to you for some reason. Maybe you do need that crystal. Even if it's not something that's printed on the little cards or printed in the books, it might still help you in some way. So think about that when you come in contact with crystals. But I find it very interesting that recently that I've talked to some people that they just mentioned that, some of these crystals that I've worked with are not working the same as before. Well, they are still working the same as before. The crystals are still working the same as before. The person has changed. You've evolved. You've changed. You've transformed. You've accepted. You still accept the healing properties that it gives you. It's just that you have gone to a higher level overall, I believe. I find it very fascinating. I myself have used some crystals, and I get to a point where I no longer need that particular crystal and I move on to something else. I just put the other one away. I just put it away. And I might bring it out again sometime or another just to work with it again, but I find that it's a new process. It's just ever evolving. So that's part of us too, part of our learning and part of our growth and part of our healing. When I healed so much of my own physical, mental, and spiritual bodies, that when I got past all that stuff that was holding me back, I didn't need those particular crystals anymore. Now I work with different crystals, and it continues that way. It just continues that way. So even if you don't feel the energy from a crystal, it still emits energy for you, and you can still receive benefits from it, but you might want to think about using other crystals that you do feel the energy from. Just something to think about. So let's catch up with some of the comments or questions here, and then I'm going to get into talking about two crystals today, two specific crystals that we've been talking about a lot, that I want to get a little bit deeper into today, that I know a lot of you have. I like to talk about the ones that are easily obtainable, that are a lot of you have, and for the most part, inexpensive. Some of these can be a little bit more so, but for the most part, these are inexpensive crystals too. And these ones, a lot of these have been listed in Judy Hall's Power 101 crystal book, and she gets a little bit more deeper into it than the Crystal Bible. So, and then another one that I'm bringing out because of the experience with it recently. So we'll talk about those in just a minute. Let's see if I can catch up with some of these questions here. Angela, K2 Jasper is very new. It's rare. It's more expensive. It's from Pakistan. K2 Jasper is a granite and azurite mixture, so it helps you with the higher realms and keeping yourself grounded at the same time. So it's a benefit of all levels. I've used it very briefly myself. I think a lot of us will start to get to know it better in the near future. I've used it and it was a very high vibration crystal. I actually needed to ground myself afterwards, after meditating with it. And I don't normally need to do that very often because I use crystals so much. So I found that quite interesting, that it does have a very high vibration to it, that if you use it and you feel a little weak or dizzy afterwards, you're going to need to use some tourmaline or smoky quartz or hematite afterwards to ground yourself. Even though it has grounding components within it, it's still so very powerful. I've not yet really gotten to feel how much it can offer. So more to follow on the K2 Jaspers. Yes. Mandy, great question. Are there crystals you should avoid in the bedroom? I believe so, yes. Don't use anything that's really energetic. I don't think you should have like personal preference. I don't think you should have quartz in the bedroom. It's got a lot of energy. That will probably keep you up at night. If you have carnelian in the bedroom, that will probably keep you up at night. The yellow, the reds will probably keep you up at night. Keep more of the rose quartz, the calming crystals, the moonstones, the amethysts in the bedroom to keep it kind of, if that's what you're looking for, you know. If you want a good night's sleep, keep the calming crystals there. So that's a great question. Sharon Rupp, what do I think about man-made crystals? I don't personally have an issue with them. Opalite is a man-made crystal. I use it often. Let's see, goldstone is a man-made crystal. Many have had tremendous success with goldstone. Now there's a difference between, well, I don't know if I want to say that really. Yes, there's a difference between fakes. Yes, there is a difference between fakes and man-made. So now when somebody's trying to sell you a fake, that's completely a whole different issue. But if somebody discloses this is a man-made crystal, that means they take, in most cases, different components of either other crystals and combine it into a new crystal. It can be different minerals, different components, different energies, type sources, and combine it into new crystals. But if somebody is actually trying to fake you because of a sale, now that's a whole different ethical type thing. But if you are, if somebody discloses, this is a man-made crystal, and you look up the properties of it, then and see if it's something that you want to work with, try it. There are some people that do not like man-made crystals whatsoever, and that's fine. I do use some of them. Opalite being one of them, and I've have great success using opalite. So I don't have one to show you today, but I do find that some of them are very beneficial. So it's up to the person. It's up to the person. Now amber is one that is faked a great deal. So that is one that you want to make sure that you get the real thing. The fake one is plastic. There's other fakes that come out that are glass. So you've got to be careful with the fake stuff. But if it's man-made crystal like goldstone or opalite, let me think. I can't think of anything else at the moment. There's a few that are man-made. They still have healing components and properties that can help you, I believe. So I hope I didn't totally confuse you with that answer. It's a deep question, a deep answer. A deep topic. So, Mary, what crystals I use in my office to keep my mind focused and sharp is fluorite, I love the fluorite for that, and I recently got some vanadinite. I've been using that as well. Great, 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 great. Yes, great questions, great questions. Good morning, RM, great questions. Yes, they've graduated from using the crystals, right, Mary? Yes, some people have graduated using specific crystals. Very interesting, huh? Graduated up. You're surrounded by different crystals using in crystal shows. Do you ground myself before shows? I don't particularly, Kathy. I don't ground myself around my crystal shows. I am surrounded by crystals a lot. I don't need to ground myself very often anymore. I used to, but there are days when I feel like I need it, and I just use it. When I feel I need it, I do it, and when I do it, I use a black tourmaline. It's quick and easy, very effective. So if I need to, I will use a black tourmaline. I stick it in my pocket, carry it with me in a big chunk, and it works quick. So the more you're around crystal energy, the more you feel it, the more your body becomes used to being around a lot of it. So now when I go to the big crystal shows, that's a different story because it's so overwhelming. The energy is a huge impact on me. When I go to the Tucson and Denver shows, I will usually be in the crystal energy for a few days, and then after that I come down and I totally need to connect with nature in a big way. That's where I actually really need to ground myself outside in nature, hug a tree, sit on the grass, walk in the sand, barefoot, all of that stuff for a while because it's so overwhelming and overpowering when there's thousands and thousands of crystals surrounding you. What I have in my home now, in my office, and what I show on the shows, I'm used to that now. Angela, how do you use Lemurian quartz? Some use it for healing, some use it for directing energy. It can be, look up the properties with it. It is a very, very good healer, and it is a very good crystal to use for tapping into ancient energies. So you can look up the specifics on it and see if it's something that you want to work with. But it is a really good crystal to work with if you're called to do so. A Lemurian quartz, really good crystal. Hi Carol, welcome. Hi Amy, yes, welcome everybody, welcome. Oh yes, yay, a lot of crystal packages received today. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh my goodness, hi Tracy, welcome. Elizabeth, great question. What do you think of Oregonite? I believe that's a man-made crystal where they take shavings or crystal pieces and they put it in resin, and they usually make it in pyramids. And they incorporate some sort of metal, sometimes gold, not typically, it's too expensive, sometimes silver, most oftentimes copper. And it is said to help with certain areas also. Again, the specific ones created for specific reasons. I believe from what I've heard that they do work. I don't know personally. I've not used one. I don't have one. I do need to get one to see if it will work. I do need to get one to just try it out and see how I feel about it. What is everybody else's experience that have had Oregons or Oregonite? What are your experiences? Do you believe they work? Do you believe they don't work? What are your thoughts on it? But there's layers of crystals in those, and they put it in a form and then they put resin over it. So I don't know. What's everybody's thoughts that have used them? What do you think? Good question. Good question. I can't specifically say because I have not personally used it, but I do need to get one to try it out. It's on a to-do list. Yes. Oh, Mary, you keep your rose quartz amethyst bracelet on to sleep like a baby. Great, great. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Amy, quartz keeps you alert at night. Wow, yeah. I know somebody else that had a quartz grid under their bed, and they were wondering why they couldn't sleep. And I said, well, move that somewhere else and see if that helps, you know. Mandy, my favorite 2 or 3 book references. One is the Crystal Bible by Judy Hall, and I did bring that out today. And then I'm going to start talking about the Crystal Bible. Then I'm going to start talking about these 2 crystals here, and then we'll catch up with a couple more comments. I have volume 2 out today, although I suggest you get volume 1. Volume 2 gets into the rarer crystals. Volume 1 has the more common things to start off with. Everyone should start off with volume 1. Volume 3 gets into really rare crystals, really hard to find crystals, and I very rarely use volume 3. Volume 2 I use occasionally, and I'm using it today. So that's one is the Crystal Bible by Judy Hall. The second one is a very good reference, is the Book of Stones by Robert Simmons. He is really breaks down the crystals. Hers are much easier to follow and to do a quick check in the book. He really gets deep into the crystals and their energies and their uses, but it's not as user-friendly as the Crystal Bible, I've got to say that. But it is a very good reference. And the third one, of course, is my book. I got to say that. Meditation Made Easy Using Crystals, because I believe everyone can receive the benefits of meditation, and using crystals is to me the easiest way to learn to meditate. So those are the 3 books I suggest. Okay, so today's crystals I wanted to talk about. One is listed in the Power 101 crystal book by Judy, and this is a good reference, but it's and it has been helping us. We've been using this for a while. Those of you who are new to the show, we've been using this for a while to get a little bit deeper to the show, I get a little bit deeper about certain crystals on this show, I should say. So today, one of the ones that I chose for this particular show today is petrified wood. A lot of you have petrified wood, and it's very easily obtainable, and it's very beautiful. Comes in many sizes and shapes, hearts, palm stones, actual slabs, actual natural pieces. When you think about petrified wood, it went through a tremendous transformation on its own to start out at a wood component. Well, if you think about it, it was a seed first, grew into a tree, a wood component, and then over whatever kind of stress or distress that it went through, it turned into stone. And the properties from that transformation, I think, are tremendous, because it just reminds us that we are on a journey and we continually transform too. So petrified wood is the crystal, first crystal I wanted to talk about today. So according to Judy Hall, she gets it a little bit into some legendary stuff in this book, and healing power, and transformational power. So I'm going to touch on a little bit of all of that. So petrified wood forests were places of enchantment, and where it magically transforms from wood into stone. That in itself is a tremendous. It's a tremendous, wonderful property and process. Oh, there's a fly here. Let's see here. In Dutch folklore, millions of good fairies came from the sun to take up residence in the earth and metamorphosed into trees. These trees had power to heal, but were cut down and driven into the soil and stabilized the land. Legendary properties, legends about these healing properties of trees would help you explore previous incarnations. So that's an interesting thought, and I never thought about that with a petrified wood before. But if you think about it, it has completely transformed from what it once was, and it is now. And I can see how she would suggest that it can help you with tapping into previous incarnation, past lives. That's very interesting. Petrified wood creates core stability and adjusts energetic flow to optimum. And of course, I suggest this all the time when I talk about this. This fly is just bugging me. that is very grounding and very stabilizing. So if you're feeling kind of or you're feeling kind of dizzy or out of sorts, grab a grounding crystal, and this would be considered a grounding crystal. So let's see, placed over the higher heart chakra, which is about here, it energetically opens the lungs, increases oxygen intake, and brings new energy into the subtle and physical bodies, assisting with chronic fatigue and exhaustion. Holding it provides emotional comfort during healing challenge or when a burden seems to be too much to bear. Now that's interesting too. I'd never thought of the breathing components, but if you think about it, it once was a tree. So that totally makes sense for me, you know, to help with lung and breathing issues. Very interesting. Petrified wood began as a living tree, then lay in the mineral-rich water and has transformed, infusing with volcanic ash. Molecules of wood were replaced with shining silica, so no trace of organic material remains. The rings and knots remain visible, and the beautiful in the ones that are slabs or natural, the polished ones, you can see the lines and the sometimes the rings. It's harder to determine in the smaller pieces, but it's just a reminder of the beautiful transformation that it went through. Let's see here. This crystal provides support during the trials and tribulations of spiritual evolution, showing you the soul gifts that challenge offers. We all go through challenging times, but it shows you the gifts of what you go through, or what you've gone through to get to the other side. It helps you peel back the layers of what's no longer serving you. So a beautiful crystal to work with, beautiful crystal. So she suggests hold a petrified wood to keep your feet firmly on the ground while you explore the multi-dimensions of reality and transforms you into a soul being of light. Isn't that beautiful? Wow. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So I've been carrying this next one with me often, but I think I'm going to start carrying the petrified wood with me and see what it has to say. I think that's just beautiful. Oh gosh, this fly. I'm going to light my sage again and see if it tells this fly to go away. I did get a shower. The next crystal that I wanted to share with you is ocean jasper. And that is one because it's one that my mom chose based on intuition. My mom's gone through a big change in her life, and I brought out a bunch of crystals and I let her pick one, and she chose it on intuition because she doesn't know, she suffered with dementia for many months and she doesn't know the crystal properties. So I just laid them out and let her pick one, and she chose the ocean jasper, and I felt that that was probably the perfect crystal for her to work with. And she loves it, and she just holds it, and she's receiving all of the healing benefits from ocean jasper. So that's another one that I wanted to talk about today, and then we'll catch up with a couple comments here. That is not listed in the 101 Power Book, but it is listed in Judy Hall's other books. It is also called abicular jasper, and that is, I think, more the technical name. It's got little orbs, little kind of flowing patterns with it. They're not all looking like the little orbs. Some of them have more color to them, like blues, pinks, yellows, oranges, but they all kind of have this flowing essence of color within it. And it's a beautiful energy. These are something that I have carried with me when I also, again, need to ground myself, and I'm not able to get outside and do so. And I don't need a real heavy, quick ground like a tourmaline. So it's something that I've used recently myself. But they're just beautiful. They're just beautiful. And these are easily to obtain and generally inexpensive. I like to call it ocean jasper because it's, I don't know, it's easier for me to say than abicular. But I just find it seems to resonate with the feel and the connection of the ocean when you ground yourself at the ocean. So This is a stone of renewal and strength, exactly what my mother needs. And she just picked it upon intuition. This is connected to Atlantis energies and holding the mystic knowledge within that of Atlantis. It takes you back to reclaim the wisdom when you meditate with it. So try that. If you want to explore Atlantis, try it and see what kind of information you get. Surround yourself in some ocean jasper and see if you can connect to Atlantis. It's a pretty interesting thing. I think I've seen my past life in Atlantis, and I wouldn't be surprised if many of you were there. We were probably all there. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, try an ocean jasper and see if it helps you get there to learn about it. It helps you transmute the misuse of spiritual power. So if there's kind of any ill will towards you, it transmutes that energy away from you. It is helpful for healers and counselors, and helps you to obtain loving yourself, which is so very important in these days. We need to help love ourselves so we can love others and radiate that love out to others. And being more empathetic to emotional and mental needs of others while remaining detached. So that's a good point, because we want to be able to help others, but we need to remain detached. So that helps with the boundaries with that. Spiritually, the swirling patterns symbolize interconnectedness of all things. It reminds us that nature is a cycle and a rhythm and fluid. And ocean jasper assists in coping with change and giving service to humanity. I love that it helps you cope with change, and I think that's part of why my mom needs this as well. She's going through a huge change. So I think that's beautiful. And it helps you realize that everything is all just fluid and in motion. So it's beautiful, beautiful. It's a very gentle, nurturing energy. It is a very gentle energy within itself. It can bring up long hidden and unresolved emotional issues, but it helps you resolve that and go to the future in a positive manner, accepting responsibility for whatever it was that caused those issues. It's an all-around healer, she says. It alleviates stress, supports the immune system, circulation, internal organs, PMS, digestion, upper torso and digestive tract, all of it. Helps with insomnia. I can see that. Inflammation, that's good to know. And hallucinations. Interesting. Helps with colds also, she suggests. So, awesome crystal to work with. She also has another little thing here that, she just kind of reiterates the same thing. It's a very fluid crystal. Helps us remind us that all things are connected and let things flow. And helps us to find balance. Beautiful ocean jasper. So if you need any of those, please message me and I can help you get those. But awesome crystals to work with, the petrified wood and the ocean jasper. And I know a lot of you already have these, so I wanted you to be aware of the deeper properties associated with them. So let's see here. Carol, you noticed your Gerasol has some sort of gold or coppery color in it. Could it be iron? Most likely, yes. Most likely iron oxide. A lot of times that is near quartz, and Gerasol is a type of quartz. So that is probably what's causing that beautiful color in your Gerasol. I've not seen very many with that in those. So the Gerasols are very special in their own way. We talked about that, was it 2 weeks ago? I think. So check out that video on the Gerasol for those of you who want that information. Yeah, beautiful. Mary, how do you know if it's fake or man-made for an amateur? That was a question that was brought up earlier in the show today, and that's a little bit deeper than we can get into today. I can actually maybe plan something in the future where I show a demonstration of how to determine if it's fake or not. Hibiscus Moon has a lot of information on that. Just Google Hibiscus Moon blogs on fakes, and she's done extensive studies on that. So check her out for that today. All right, let's see here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Angela, prehnite is a higher vibration crystal. You can surround prehnite. It's not one that we talk about very often. And I've used it actually for complete physical healing, if you surround your body in prehnite, for complete physical healing and transformation. So I'll look up the other different properties, and maybe we can talk about that at another show too. Oh, Elmer Lika, you use orgonite to raise your frequency. Okay, good. Good to know. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Let's see here. Hold the volume book up again, Mary. The crystal volume. Use volume 1. I suggest you start with volume 1, not 2. Sorry, it's backwards. I don't know how to flip it so it's not. And let's see what else we've got here. Blessings, blessings. It is interesting about the petrified wood. I'm learning more myself, getting into deeper, because I know a lot of the basics with a lot of these. And during my show, I'll just tell you just briefly, because we can't get into too deeply of all of these. We'd never get through it. But that's why I like to bring in some deeper topics like this. Yeah, some deeper topics like this. Okay. So let me pull 2 cards, messages for today. One from the Power of Surrender deck. We've been doing this a lot lately, something that we need to surrender and work on. And I love this deck by Judith Orloff. And I pull one out of this for the group and those who watch later. Please share this with others. I do appreciate that. And I do like to pull a card. I got caught in my cord. As a group message, something that we need to focus on for those who are watching now and those who watch later. And we'll see what the cards have to say today. And quite oftentimes they resonate with what we're talking about. This fly. It just needs to go away. You know what? I'm going to light a little Palo Santo and see if that'll help. My sage didn't seem to do it. Okay, yes, the fly is a messenger. So, Palo Santo. I got these new little cones, so I'm trying them out, and it does smell like Palo Santo. It's great. I wish we had smell-o-vision. Palo Santo is not as strong as sage as far as the scent, I feel, but it's very effective as getting rid of negative energies, yeah. Amy, you're fascinated with opal recently. Feel the magic when you hold it and meditate with it. That's beautiful. Scar, sorry, my voice is starting to really tell me it's time to finish up here. But yes, if you are led and guided to work with a crystal, explore it and see what it has to tell you. Explore it and see what it has to tell you. So you never know. You never know. I'm going to pull 2 cards today, one from that deck and one from the Namaste deck. I don't do this one very often, but I was led to today for whatever reason. There's a lot of birds out here today too. Beautiful. We had a great rain, and that's very rare for around here. Great rain, was it Friday night, something like that. And it just cleansed and cleared, and it's just beautiful. So, cleansed and cleared. Yes, to recap really briefly, the things that we spoke about this morning earlier is when your crystal, you don't feel the energy from the crystal, we all react and respond differently. Maybe if you no longer feel the crystal, maybe you need to cleanse and clear it. Maybe you've graduated up from its use, and you need to try something a little, something either different energy, or maybe you need to try a different crystal that's similar but different properties. So just keep that in mind. You know, the crystal energy still works, But maybe if you don't feel it any longer, maybe you need to switch it up and try something else. Use your intuition for what you need. It's always right. I want to switch the camera real quickly here and see if I can get this. There's a beautiful pigeon watching over us. Let me switch this and see if I can zoom in before he flies away. And he's just kind of up here. And I don't know, oh, let's see. I don't know if we can get over there to where he's at. Isn't he beautiful? Wow. That's super exciting. He was just looking at me like, hey, I'm here. Okay, so today's messages. Surrender to spirit. I love that. Surrender to spirit. Trust and know that your spirit guides are always here. Always, you are always surrounded by light and love, by God, Creator, Spirit, angels, past loved ones. They're always with you, always. And remember that they're there to help you. They're there to help you. They're there to assist you. So oftentimes we forget. You know, we go through troubling times, or we go through struggling times. We forget that Spirit is always with us, always. We are surrounded in their light and their love. And it's so important. It's so important that we remember they're there for us. Remember. Once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn your situation over to the divine. Let the Spirit work magic for you. And it's so true. We do this with our wish paper. We send our intentions out together in other shows. Those of you who are new to the show, we do this as a community. But you don't have to wait for that. Do it anytime you need assistance. Ask for your spirit guides to help you. And it's truly, truly amazing. Truly amazing what can help, you know, how that can help you. If you just open yourself up to Spirit and the benefits of using them and their resources, it's truly wonderful. Truly wonderful. And that's where it will take you. Look at that beautiful picture. Oh my gosh. Just beautiful picture. I love the artwork on that. The one I pulled from the Omnipresent, not the Omnipresent, there's a word here. The Namaste book, the Namaste deck. Look at the back side of this. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm going to read what she says here. It says, the blessing of the omnipresence. Breathe in the light, breathe out the unwanted thoughts. Dwelling on what has been or might have been serves no purpose. Feel the healing omnipresent light that surrounds and fills you. And this totally resonates with this other card. Oh my gosh. Focus on the present, for it's blessed with infinite potential. These two cards go together so well today, and I think we all need this as a reminder. You know, breathe out what no longer serves us. Breathe out what we feel we can't. Bring in the Spirit to help us can. You know, it's just beautiful, just beautiful. Look at that. The blessing of omnipresence. Breathe in the light, breathe out the unwanted thoughts. Ask your Spirit to come be your helper and your guide. Oh, beautiful messages today, beautiful messages. Please again share this with others so they can join in. And thank you all so much for joining me today. This has been a great conversation, great questions as always, and a great learning experience. I will be doing another live show Q&A kind of thing early next week. Those of you who are new to the show, please like, follow, and see first, and so you get my notifications of when I'm on. And we do some really deep discussions sometimes, talking about spiritual topics. Sometimes we do more lighthearted, easier things. Like today is a little bit lighthearted, a little bit easier to discuss. Sometimes we really get into deep topics. Sometimes that's needed. Sometimes this is needed. Sometimes we just talk about crystals like today. I do on each new moon, we do a manifestation show where we come together and we help each other manifest things. That last time was so very powerful. If you did not watch it, go back and watch the replay. Every full moon, we do a releasing exercise where we release all the gunk that holds us back, because we do experience all this stuff, every month we go through things and we need to cleanse and clear it. So each full moon, we clear that out. That's coming up in about a week or so. So watch for that. Every Thursday is Crystal Sale Thursday, where I actually show crystals and sell them. Watch for that. And we do some other things in between too. So every once in a while I throw in some extras. So you never know what's coming up. Sometimes I like to just come on and just catch up and chat. Sometimes we do prayer groups for things that are very necessary. And sometimes we do sending out peace to the world, So it's an awesome community, great place to be, very positive, and you'll get to know the regulars very soon, those of you who are new. If you want to join my group, Crystalline Sage, it's Crystalline Sage. Please request to do that, and I will go let you in. It's a very safe place where you can talk about spiritual related topics in a safe place without judgment. And sometimes that's necessary, sometimes that's needed, because there's not, I think we all have gone through that, where we have times where we just need somebody to talk to about our experiences. We're either excited or we're confused or we're unsure. And a lot of times our family members are not with us in this. They don't understand, or they don't agree, or they don't get it. So that place, Crystalline Sage, is where you can do that without judgment. I go through that with myself. My family doesn't understand my journey. It's just part of our journey. They're not in the same place as me, and that's okay. They're in their place, I'm in my place. But it is nice to be able to go somewhere and talk to somebody who understands what I'm going through, or what I'm learning, or what I'm experiencing. So check that out, Crystalline Sage. And anything else? I have 3 courses if you are interested on Udemy. I will post the links there. The Crystal Basics, also Manifestation with Crystals, and Meditation with Crystals. So I'll post those links as well. And thank you all so much for joining me. This is a great conversation, So, yes, I got him on camera. That's so cool. Wasn't that awesome? We have to look up, we will have to look up what pigeon means as well. There's a lot of birds out here, and he's just sitting under my swing right now. The pigeon is sitting under my swing. So we'll have to look up what spirit totem pigeon means, and we'll revisit the spirit animal topic again. Maybe it's been a while since we talked about spirit animals and spirit guides. So we will probably bring that up again, because it's good to refresh, it's good to talk about again. Oh, Cindy, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so sorry that it's an anniversary for your husband's passing, but he's with you. He's with you, and he is love. I believe when somebody passes, they turn into the divine love that they are. We are all divine love, but we forget it here. We forget a lot here. We are all divine love. And when we return back to complete spirit, you are back to complete divine love, because that's what we are. That's our source, divine love. So, but he is still with you, Cindy, and still with you. If you need an indication or a sign or something, ask him to show you a sign. See what happens. Ask him to show you a sign. That's for any of you too. If you need to see a sign from your spirit guides, your animal totems, your angels, God, Creator, higher power, whatever, ask them to show you a sign that you understand that they are there, as a confirmation or a reassurance that they are there. Ask them to show you a sign. Let us know what happens. Okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a blessed week. Have a blessed week. Blessings, blessings. October 24th is the full moon. Thank you, Kathy, for that. So we'll do our full moon releasing on or around that date, real close to that date. And sometimes I do it in the evening. Sometimes I do it in the morning. So it's a very powerful releasing. For those of you who have not experienced it, it makes you feel like you've got rid of some gunk. You know, you feel lighter. So, oh, the winds are coming. I was told the winds are coming, so I better wrap it up. All right. Thank you all so much, everybody, for joining me. Namaste, blessings, and may you have a blessed, blessed week. I will see you all soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Blessings.